I'm Luke Summerhaze, and I love Shroomish. What I don't love, though, are mushrooms. I get it from my mother. The taste, and particularly the texture, of mushrooms is just really gross to me. Depending how they're cooked, it can either feel like swallowing slugs or trying to chew down a rubber tire. People like to tell me off for not eating my vegetables, but I think it's worth noting that mushrooms aren't vegetables. Fungi are a whole different kingdom from plants, and actually just as close to animals as plants. This makes Pokemon's inclusion of mushrooms in the grass typing a little archaic, but I can't say I expect them to add a whole extra fungus type. Shroomish is a mushroom Pokemon, and much more adorable than the last mushroom Pokemon, Paris and its creepy Last of Us vibes. Much like Seedot a couple of weeks ago, Shroomish has a round little body with 2 feet and no arms. Once again, it looks like it could come from a Mario game, and this one would be particularly appropriate for the Mushroom Kingdom. Shroomish has an adorable little frown, which can look especially evil when turned upside down. Its cream-coloured mushroom cap has green polka dots, and its underside is that same shade of green. The English name just takes the word mushroom and flips it to make Shroomish. The Japanese name, Kinokoko, combines kinoko, or mushroom, with ko, or child. Shroomish live like real mushrooms, which sprout up in the damp corners of forests. Pokemon Ruby tells us, Shroomish live in damp soil in the dark depths of forests. They are often found keeping still under fallen leaves. This Pokemon feeds on compost that is made up of fallen, rotted leaves. Pokemon Sapphire tells us, if Shroomish senses danger, it shakes its body and scatters spores from the top of its head. This Pokemon's spores are so toxic, they make trees and weeds wilt. And lastly, Pokemon Emerald tells us, it loves to eat damp, composted soil in forests. If you enter a forest after a long rain, you can see many Shroomish feasting on composted soil. The sight of a real-life clump of mushrooms when I'm out hiking has a slightly discomforting feeling. Toxic spores growing from the carcasses of great fallen trees. A gathering of round, squishy Shroomish, chomping on leaves, would be much more adorable. At level 23, a Shroomish might try to evolve, but the real pros know to wait until level 54, when it learns Spore. Then it can evolve into the grass and fighting type, Breloom. While still clearly a mushroom, Breloom has a much more developed animalistic look than the spongy little blob it evolved from. With thick legs, a long tail, and a pair of front paws, Breloom resembles a bipedal dinosaur. The mushroom cap on its head means that it could be a Pachycephalosaurus, the round-skulled ramming dinosaur nicknamed Friar Tuck in Jurassic Park: The Lost World. If we look at Breloom as a dinosaur, we can kind of see Shroomish like a cracked-in-half dinosaur egg. The Japanese name is Kinogasa, combining Kinoko this time with Kasa. A Kasa is a type of straw hat, traditionally worn when outside in the hot Japanese sun. It was often worn by farmers or travelling monks. Because these were the best disguises, it was subsequently often worn by ninja. The mushroom cap atop Breloom's head looks similar, and this fits a fighting type monster. Breloom knows Genjutsu. Kasa is also the Japanese word for umbrella, as the shape of the hat is similar. The English name, Breloom, subsequently combines umbrella and mushroom. Some of Breloom's Pokedex entries are simple mushroom stuff, just like Shroomish. Pokemon Sapphire tells us, the seeds ringing Breloom's tail are made of hardened toxic spores. It is horrible to eat the seeds. Just taking a bite of this Pokemon seed will cause your stomach to rumble. Pokemon Emerald tells us, It scatters spores from holes in the cap on its head. It loves warm and humid climates. It feeds on trees and plants in fields and forests. But then, other entries take a different approach. Pokemon Ruby tells us, Breloom closes in on its foe with light and sprightly footwork, then throws punches with its stretchy arms. This Pokemon's fighting technique puts boxers to shames. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green tells us, the seeds on its tail are made of toxic spores. It knocks out foes with quick, virtually invisible punches. And Pokemon Diamond tells us, its short arms stretch when it throws punches. Its technique is equal to that of pro boxers. The fighting typing and talk of boxing could mean that rather than a mushroom dinosaur, Breloom is a mushroom kangaroo. When competing for a mate or territory, kangaroos will grip each other with their forearms and hack at one another with their powerful clawed legs. The image of a boxing kangaroo is a national symbol of Australian sports, often waved on flags at football, cricket or rugby matches. The boxing kangaroo might very well be waved at a Pokemon VGC tournament, as Breloom is actually a pretty tasty competitive monster. A very high attack stat, the devastating paralysis effect of Spore, and some tricky use of abilities and moves like Substitute let it tear through teams. I've always loved dinosaurs, so I've long had a soft spot for Breloom. Realizing that it is also a ninja, and that it has the heart of a true warrior, just makes it even better. I could even forgive its mushroominess. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon was composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. If you've enjoyed this podcast and want to help keep it online, please consider supporting at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. While you're there, why not check out the other podcasts me and my pals create? I also love it when listeners get in touch. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN. I want to hear why you love these monsters, whether it's a Pokemon we've already covered or one that's coming up. Next up are Slackoth and Nincada, so please let me know your thoughts on those. I love Shroomish, and remember, I love you too.